10mm or 357 for a bear? Screw that, I'm choosing an old rusty axe. Well, that's what this guy did to defend himself against a brown bear, and it worked. On the second charge, the guy gets into his power stance and whacks the bear right on the nose. The bear didn't like that one, so it decides to take off. And for good measure, he squirts a little bear spray into the air.
This clip was uploaded to TikTok by a user named I Am Ruby, and it features a photo that was supposedly taken by one of the uploader's friends. According to the story, the woman had just finished getting her eyebrows done and snapped a quick selfie in her car before heading home. She sent the picture to her boyfriend expecting a normal reaction. Instead, he replied with a strange question. He asked her who the child sitting in the back seat of her car was. Confused, the woman insisted she had been completely alone when the photo was taken. But when you look closely at the image, something becomes visible. That's a kid. On the left side of the back seat, what appears to be the pale face of a child can clearly be seen. The uploader claims that if the image is brightened or enhanced, it might even reveal two children sitting in the back. Personally, I can only clearly make out the one on the left. And that's creepy enough. I mean, can you imagine how terrifying that would be? Little kids are scary. Anyhow, let me know what you see, what you think, and definitely let me know if you spot the second child the uploader believes is there. This clip is seriously bizarre. At first glance, it looks like a couple of people running across the frame. But the moment they jump, their bodies suddenly resemble deer mid-leap. Then just as quickly, they collapse onto the ground in a way that makes the whole thing even harder to understand. Honestly, it's difficult to tell what these things really could be. My guess is that it could be some kind of camera glitch or motion distortion, but even with that explanation, the footage still looks really crazy. I mean, imagine checking your security camera and finding something like this recorded overnight. I'd love for someone to explain that after these figures leapt over the fence and they hit the ground, why did it seem like they stayed there? I get that it could easily be some type of distortion, but that part's creepy. This clip quickly became one of the more chilling videos to surface online lately. Take a look at this unsettling camera footage. At first, the footage shows what appears to be a strange cloud slowly drifting across the road. The smoke-like substance spreads through the area, creating an eerie scene for sure. It almost looks like fog settling over the street. And for a moment, nothing happens. We see a car casually drive into the frame, pulling onto the road without any sign that something is wrong. But within seconds, the entire scene erupts into chaos as the area suddenly bursts into flames. What looked harmless at first was actually something far more dangerous. The drifting haze was later believed to be gas leaking into the air. All it likely took was a small spark, possibly from the vehicle or somewhere nearby, to ignite it. Gas leaks are especially dangerous because they can be invisible and sometimes even odorless, meaning people nearby might not realize the threat until it's too late. This footage serves as a stark reminder of how quickly everyday situations can turn into life-threatening emergencies. What's crazy is that something similar to this in my neighborhood happened. I can't remember if it was a plumber or a utilities guy. Anyhow, he nicked one of the gas lines and they immediately smelled gas. They knew what it was. They evacuated everyone out of the house. But sure enough, the house exploded. I mean, it was crazy. It burned and blew out some of the windows in the houses next to it. Unfortunately, there was a dog and a cat inside. However, they found and rescued both of them. They found the cat like a month later under the stuff, like when they were going to clean it up. Just crazy story. I'll try to find some more info on it. A Reddit user shared a
was hiking with
strange
a friend
experience
when
they had
stumbled
while
upon an
hiking with a
abandoned
friend
baby
when they
stroller
suddenly
right
came
in the
across
middle of
something
their
in the
trail.
middle of the trail.
Feeling
Sitting
spooked,
there,
they were too
completely out
uneasy
of
to check
place,
inside
was an
and decided to
abandoned
walk
baby
around it,
stroller.
though
The sight
left them
immediately
unsettled
put them on
for
edge.
the rest of the
Not
hike.
knowing what to expect
Some
and feeling
commenters thought it
increasingly
was smart
uneasy,
to
the
ignore
two
the stroller,
hikers chose not to
suggesting
get
it
any
might have been a
closer.
setup for an
Instead of
armed
looking
robbery.
inside, they
Checking it could
carefully
lure
walked
you in,
around it and
with
continued
robbers
down the
hiding
trail,
nearby,
though
ready
the
to
discovery
ambush.
stuck with them
Others
for the
felt
rest
they
of the
should have
hike.
checked it out in
When the
case
story was
baby
posted
really was in
online,
need of help.
people were divided,
What would
to
you
say the
have done
least.
in that
Some
situation?
commenters said avoiding the stroller was the smartest move, suggesting it could have been used as bait for a robbery, drawing someone in while accomplices waited nearby to ambush them. Others argued the opposite, saying they should have checked it just in case a baby was actually inside and needed help. What would you have done if you stumbled across something like that on an empty trail? I gotta say, I'm probably gonna take my chances and make sure that the baby, if it's in there, is okay. I absolutely know I would do that. How about you guys? Recently, what's being described as brand new Bigfoot footage began circulating online. It's supposedly captured by a police dash camera. The strange part is that no police department has been publicly linked to the recording. It's unclear why that detail hasn't been released. Some speculate it could be for privacy reasons, while others think the location might be intentionally withheld to prevent people from flooding to the area. What we do know is that the footage is said to have been recorded on November 22nd of 2025. According to the clip, the patrol vehicle was traveling along a quiet, heavily forested road late at night when something unusual appeared in the headlights. A massive, upright creature stepped into view. It moved on two legs and seemed unusually large compared to anything normally seen in the woods. The figure walked slowly across the road, not reacting much to the vehicle approaching behind it. Its pace almost looks relaxed, maybe even tired, as if it's simply walking along the road without any concern. What makes the video so interesting to some analysts is the creature's overall shape. Its body resembles a strange mix between a human and a large primate. It appears tall, broad, and covered in thick hair from head to toe. Another detail people keep pointing out is the way the creature holds its left arm while walking. Instead of swinging naturally, it stays lifted outward at an unusual angle. Supporters say this kind of movement has been described in other alleged Bigfoot sightings. Interestingly, law enforcement sightings of Bigfoot are a real thing. Over the years, a number of police officers, deputies, and park rangers have reportedly described encounters while patrolling remote roads or national forests at night. Reports have surfaced from all over the place, from Washington, Northern California, part of the Appalachian region. Even stories from sheriffs in rural Louisiana and Arkansas describe tall, hairy figures crossing back roads late at night. However, most of these claims never make it into official reports. Many officers say they avoid documenting the encounters formally because they fear being ridiculed or damaging their careers. Instead, the stories are often shared privately with researchers or fellow officers. Well, that could explain why this dashcam clip is being circulated anonymously. I mean, yeah, especially this day and age, speaking publicly about something like this could put someone's job on the line. Whether that's a risk any officer should take in the name of truth is definitely up for debate. Either way, the footage itself has certainly sparked a lot of discussion. A man and his wife were driving along a quiet forest road in the middle of the afternoon. It was one of those perfect summer days. The trees were thick with bright green leaves, sunlight filtered through the branches, and everything around them felt peaceful and normal. As they followed the winding road deeper into the woods, they suddenly came across a fallen tree lying across part of the roadway. It didn't completely block the path, but it was large enough to force drivers to slow down. As the couple got closer to the tree, the man stopped the car so his wife could take a quick photo. After snapping the picture, they continued on their way and didn't think much more about it. Later, when they arrived at their family's cabin, they decided to show the photo to everyone else. That's when someone noticed something strange hidden in the image. Near the end of the fallen tree, partially concealed by leaves and branches, there appeared to be a dark figure. The shape shows what looks like broad shoulders and a rounded head barely visible above the greenery. It almost appears as though the creature is crouched down, trying to stay hidden behind the fallen trunk. But that's not the only thing people noticed. Looking even closer, there seems to be a second figure farther back in the photo. Just behind the more obvious shape, a small patch of thick dark hair is seen poking out from the branches. Unfortunately, only a tiny portion of it is visible, making it impossible to clearly identify what it might be. The person who originally submitted the photo described the creature like this. The figure is hunched over sideways. I started calling him Elvis because it looks like he has long sideburns and one big eye staring straight at the camera. Well, this person also believes that directly behind Elvis may be another Bigfoot. Whether that's true or not, it's definitely an unusual image. The part that I like about it mostly is that it seems random. This couple didn't go out looking for anything strange. They were simply driving down a quiet road when the photo was taken. But I'll also say this, if there really is something hiding behind that tree, it looks like it was doing its best to stay perfectly hidden. So, more to be revealed on this one. In January of 2024, a YouTuber known as Josh the Intern set out on a hike through the Pyrenees Mountains after spotting what appeared to be a plane crash site on Google Maps. Josh is normally known for upbeat content where he explores remote locations and hidden landmarks, but this trip quickly took a deeper, darker turn. Before he even reached the crash site, Josh noticed something pretty crazy along the trail. Off to the side was a strange structure that looked like someone might actually be living in it. Even though the crash site was his original goal, curiosity got the better of him and he decided to investigate the structure first.
And I spotted something unusual just off the path. It seemed to be the ruins of an old building, so I headed in for a closer look. But this is when I discovered something quite terrifying.
Someone definitely lives here. There's canned food. Someone definitely lives here. Maybe not all the time, but often enough, which is crazy, because this is really in ruins and in the middle of nowhere. Very creepy.
Being completely alone in such a remote part of the mountains, he had no idea what he might be walking into. As he approached, the place immediately gave him a bad feeling. But the deeper he went inside, the more disturbing things became. Scattered across the walls and floor were what looked like hundreds of photographs, arranged almost like some kind of shrine.
Okay, this is really creepy. This is really creepy. There is photos of the same person up on the wall. Like this is a stalker's house or something. This is creepy. Oh, there's so many photos on the floor everywhere. This place is littered with the same photos of the same people. Look at all these photos. These are all photos of people. Photos of people on the floor. Tons of them. On the bed. I'm gonna get out of here. This is really creepy. I don't know why there's so many photos.
What made the scene even more unsettling was that nearly all of the photos appeared to be of women and children. Having never encountered anything like this before while hiking, Josh quickly decided it was time to leave. Before heading out, he made one final discovery, just outside the structure, that only added to this uneasy feeling.
That is one of the creepiest things I've ever found while hiking. Someone is living in there and I think someone is stalking people.
As I headed out of the building, I also found this smaller structure just by it, and inside there was a bed along with what appeared to be rope.
After leaving that house, I feel like I'm being watched. All of a sudden feels very quiet and eerie around here. There's something really strange going on in these mountains. For sure.
Josh eventually continued his journey and did make it to the crash site he had originally planned to visit. But after returning from the mountain, he shared an update explaining that the experience had disturbed him enough that he contacted local police. He provided them with the coordinates of the structure along with all the footage he had recorded. Whatever was going on here, he felt like it was sinister. It really disturbed him. As of now, he says he has not received any response. which means whatever that strange place was, its true purpose may remain a mystery. What would really be cool is if someone saw someone they knew in those pictures and then came forward. How cool would that be? On November 28th, a disturbing video began circulating online after being filmed on an undisclosed hiking trail somewhere in the UK. The footage was recorded by a user named Rose Honey Morgan, who had simply gone out for a walk with her son and their 2 dogs. What was meant to be a quiet day on the trail quickly turned unsettling when Rose began noticing strange objects placed along the path.
I look rough today. Another thing that really pisses me off about my husband. Hang on. Are you seeing this? Fire, fine. Fine, whatever. That's not mine. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Actual. I think the dog's gonna hear something. Am I overreacting? Or is that actually quite alarming?
Scattered throughout the area were small effigies and markings, positioned in ways that didn't seem random at all. Curious and a bit uneasy, she filmed the discoveries as her dogs began reacting to something off in the distance.
Oh my actual god. Oh my actual god.
Later, Rose posted a short follow-up clip that left viewers even more concerned. The video itself is brief, but when slowed down, something strange becomes visible near the tree line. Just beyond the trees, a figure briefly steps into view before moving out of frame. Now, Wilderness Whispers analyzed the scene. They took an AI estimate suggesting the distance between Rose and the tree line was roughly 115 feet. If that measurement is accurate, the figure seen in the footage would stand somewhere around 7.5 feet tall. I cannot check that math. Online theories quickly began spreading. Some viewers suggested the effigies placed along the trail might have been offerings meant to appease forest spirits. Others believed the strange objects could have been intended as protection. Well, between the mysterious dolls, the dog's nervous behavior, and oh yeah, the guy creeping around on the edge of the woods? This clip comes from the TikTok account f.paranormally. It features security footage from inside a kitchen where something very strange appears to unfold. The video quickly sparked debate online, with many viewers asking the same question. Could this actually be a real ghost attack caught on camera? Take a look. At first, the footage seems genuinely unsettling. A man is standing near the kitchen table when, without anyone touching it, a nearby chair suddenly slides across the floor on its own. Moments later, things get even stranger. The homeowner appears to be pulled backwards by some unseen force, stumbling as if something invisible has grabbed hold of him. On the surface, it looks like a scene straight out of a horror movie. But once viewers start analyzing the clip more closely, a few suspicious details began to stand out. Right when the man first approaches the table, watch his right hand carefully. Some viewers notice that he seems to grab hold of something thin that resembles a piece of string. A second later, he makes a couple of subtle pulling motions, and almost immediately the chair begins to move. From there, it's simply a matter of falling backward and lifting his leg in a way that gives the illusion that something is dragging him away. So while the clip may look terrifying at first glance, it seems this particular paranormal encounter could possibly be staged. What say you guys? What do you think? I have to say, I kind of thought it was real. But man, there are some eagle-eyed viewers these days. I don't know if I would have noticed that. For many people in the UK, the Long Arms pub in Wiltshire has a reputation for being one of the most haunted pubs in the country. The current owners, Rob and Liz Alcox, say they've personally experienced a number of strange and difficult to explain events while running the establishment. Visitors have reported catching glimpses of dark figures or shadows moving just out of the corner of their eye. Others claim objects inside the pub occasionally shift or move without anyone touching them. For years, these stories were mostly just word of mouth. But recently, some CCTV footage surfaced that many believe supports the idea that something unusual might actually be happening inside this pub. As the camera records the quiet room, one of the glasses sitting on a lower shelf suddenly shatters without warning. Rob later posted the video online where it quickly sparked a fury of speculation. Some viewers suggested that a small object may have fallen off screen and struck the glass. However, when you watch the footage, you can't really see anything hit it. Rob himself admitted he found the footage fascinating and said he kept replaying it, trying to figure out what might have caused it. But the CCTV clip isn't the only strange story connected to the pub. One particularly eerie account came from a customer who mentioned seeing a young boy quietly sitting at a table with a couple enjoying dinner. The customer later commented to Rob about how well behaved the boy had been throughout the entire meal. Now, Rob had to explain something unsettling. The couple, there had been no child with them at all. Other visitors have claimed they felt what seemed like a hand pushing them on the back of the head when no one was standing nearby. And on several occasions, staff have reported seeing a mysterious man in the backyard late at night picking apples from the trees. Each time they go outside to investigate, the yard is completely empty. So, is this place truly haunted? I mean, between the unusual reports from customers and this strange footage, it certainly seems like something may be happening here. Does anyone know more about this? Do we have someone in the comments that might have actually been here? That would be crazy. If so, what were the vibes inside the pub? The next clip on our list is one of those blink and you miss it moments. It was posted to Reddit by a user named Koldek, who claims the footage might show a ghost standing beside a road late at night. Take a look. There isn't much background information provided with the clip, but when watching closely, something does appear in the frame for a brief moment. Whether it's actually paranormal or just our eyes playing tricks on us is still being debated. To get a better look, 2 still images were taken directly from the footage. In the first image, the shape could easily be mistaken for something ordinary. At first glance, the long, dark shape beside the figure looks like it might just be a branch from a nearby palm tree. However, the second still complicates that explanation. In that frame, the figure appears to be standing a noticeable distance away from the tree, making it harder to dismiss as just a shadow or plant movement. The figure itself looks somewhat human in shape. It appears pale, almost translucent, and seems to be wearing what resembles a long white dress. Now, because of that appearance, some viewers have compared it to the classic legend of the Weeping Woman, a ghostly figure found in many different cultures' folklore. In these stories, she is often described as wandering endlessly, mourning the loss of her children. Unfortunately, with such a short clip and almost no additional details, it's impossible to say exactly what was captured. Like many strange videos that surface online, this one may simply remain unexplained. Now, as with many of these strange videos that surface online, we may never know the answer, but man, what do you guys think? I mean, that looks like a woman. I mean, that's crazy. They were going by at a good clip of speed, too. Yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Is that the Weeping Woman? Adam is a creator who shares a wide range of his interests on his channel. His videos cover everything from wilderness projects and firearm reviews to the occasional singing performance. But the content his viewers seem to enjoy the most comes from his wilderness adventures, where he hikes deep into the forest, builds shelters, stays overnight, and camps far from civilization. In one particular video, however, his usual outdoor trip quickly turned into something far more dangerous.
Today, we're going to explore some part of the wilderness that I've never explored before. If you guys have watched my channel for any length of time, you know I like, exploring the woods. But last summer, a logging company came in, and they must have got a pretty large wood permit, because they cut about a 15-mile logging trail to do the logging in a part of the woods I've never explored, or I doubt many people have explored, because it's just so inaccessible. So today we're gonna go out there to that logging trail, and I got the all-wheel drive vehicle. We're gonna go as far down the trail as we can, and then we're gonna go explore the woods.
Adam eventually arrived at a wooded area where he planned to start his trek. After parking his car, he grabbed his gear and began hiking deeper into the forest.
Beautiful country here. So we're gonna keep hiking. Got the map, and we're gonna get the high elevation, because there's a lot of swampy areas here. So we're gonna try to hit high elevation and hike through this as high as we can. So let's get busy. Been going for about an hour now, and getting a little tired. So I think I might take a break, eat a snack, and then head back.
At one point along the trail, he stopped near a fallen tree and decided to start a small fire so he could sit down and study the map he had brought with him. What Adam didn't realize at the time was that something in the woods had already noticed him. Somewhere beyond the trees, a bear had been slowly approaching.
Right now, I'm over here somewhere. I'm off the map, so I'm gonna have to get back into my, this is really hard to see in the camera, guys, but I'm gonna have to get back into my topo map area so I can again use terrain association, get some of these higher spots to come back to where I'm going. I do have a compass, so if worse comes to worse, I'll just head in the direction of that logging road, and we'll take that road. Sorry, battery died there. So I do have another okay, I'm gonna get moving here. All right, so I'm gonna get moving, guys. I'll check in with in a little bit, okay? Come on. Hey, Jesus. Go, get it! So, I'm pretty sure know where I'm at. I got good sun here, so I'm not going back the way I came. I'm going south, and I'll hit the logging trail, and I'm just gonna the logging trail to wherever I parked, which should be, I'm on the trail, it should be east of where I'm at right now. I'm not even gonna try to go back the way I came. Guys, I've never had that happen before. I mean, I saw him, and then he was gone, and I was good to go, and I was kind of backtracking a little bit, but staying quite a distance from the way I came in. And then I had a little fire, and then I heard some shit, so, and, you know, kind of packed up there, and then I thought it was just a wind, so I was just taking my time, and then I turn around and he's there. So we a couple warning shots on that motherfucker, and that did it. I mean, you shouldn't do warning shots on a bear because they get desensitized to it, so you're not supposed to do that. But I've never been stalked or followed before on any hike. I mean, they're the first.
The situation escalated quickly when the animal finally came into view, moving toward Adam in what he later described as an aggressive manner. For a brief moment, the encounter was even captured on camera. Realizing the danger, Adam fired a few warning shots. In some situations, that kind of action can actually make a bear more aggressive. Fortunately for him, this time it had the opposite effect. The noise startled the animal, causing it to turn and run back into the forest. During the chaos of the encounter, Adam ended up injuring his arm slightly. Thankfully, the injury wasn't serious, but the situation could have turned out far worse if the bear had closed the distance. After the encounter, he quickly packed up and left the area. The experience serves as an important reminder for anyone spending time in the wilderness. Being aware of your surroundings and having some form of protection can make a huge difference, especially when you're alone in bear country. This creator runs a channel where he documents his adventures hiking mountains, camping in harsh environments, and testing his survival skills in remote wilderness areas. His videos are usually very well produced, and many of his trips push both his gear and his endurance to the limit. In this particular video though, things nearly went wrong in a way that could have turned dangerous very quickly. The plan for the trip sounded simple on paper. He wanted to spend 3 days traveling along Canada's northernmost highway while testing the reliability of his 1992 4Runner. The idea was to drive the remote route, camp overnight in a heated tent, and see how both he and the vehicle handled the brutal winter conditions. At first, everything went exactly according to plan.
We're just coming into Tombstone Territorial Park here, and it looks way crazier in the snow. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have to find some wood for my wood stove that we're gonna camp in tonight. And I'm gonna try the campsite first, and if that fails, then we're gonna have to cut it down a tree before we run out of trees. I don't know how sparse trees get up in the Arctic, but I guess we're gonna find out.
The first day was uneventful. He drove up the highway, found a quiet place to set up camp, and spent the night comfortably in his heated tent. The temperatures were well below freezing, but the gear worked perfectly, and he woke up the next morning without any issues.
I've been thinking about when I'm gonna turn around or where I'm gonna camp. There's not a single tree around here. It's bitter cold. So, I'm gonna turn around here. There's no point in going further north. It's just gonna be flat. This is the last mountain range until we get like way north, but you have to cross a ferry over the Mackenzie, which the Mackenzie's gonna be frozen soon, so the ferry won't be able to run, if it's even running right now. So, not really worth the hassle of going up there and possibly getting stuck either after the ferry or before the ferry. So yeah, we're gonna turn around here. We're gonna find a place to camp. Look at how far north we are. Whoa.
After packing up camp, he got back on the road and continued the journey. But later that day, while searching for another place to spend the night, he decided to leave the main highway and drive down a snowy off-road path. His goal was simply to find a secluded spot where he wouldn't have to worry about other travelers passing by. That decision is where the trouble started. Not long after leaving the main road, he noticed a frozen patch of water crossing the trail ahead of him. From a distance, it looked shallow enough to drive across, so he decided to try it.
No. Oh my god, guys, we really just fucked up. No. Okay, we need to build a rope system to get out of here. We need to build a rope system. Alright, I'm gonna get... This is officially the most retarded thing I've ever done. So retarded. So stupid. There's probably water getting in the fuel tank now. We're gonna have to get out some rope stuff. I got a beefy rope. Well, I can officially say something has gone wrong. Oh my god, there's like an inch of ice. Fuck. Dumbass! So dumb! Oh man, I'm so dumb. How am I gonna get myself out of this one? stuff. It's kind of working. I feel like it's like self-tensioned right now. This is up, man. I'm gonna try to get the axe out.
Unfortunately, the ice and water beneath the snow were deeper than he expected. Within moments, the vehicle began to sink. He spent some time trying to get his truck free on his own, but nothing worked. Under normal circumstances, that might have been frustrating, but manageable. The real problem was the location. This wasn't a busy road. It was a remote stretch of wilderness and sub-zero temperatures. Thankfully, he wasn't too far from the highway he had just left.
This guy's stopping, oh boy. I f***ed up, man, I'm stuck over there. I broke through some ice. Yeah, I know. Could you tell somebody in the next town? I need a winch or something, like a come along or something. Yeah, it's sunk into the back, broke through some ice. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, he's gonna call in the squad.
After standing there for quite some time in the cold, a single truck eventually appeared. Luckily, the driver stopped. The man said he would send help and then continue down the road. With no other vehicles passing through the area, everything now depended on that promise. Connor returned to his vehicle and prepared for a long wait, knowing there was no guarantee when help might actually arrive. Since the freezing water around the truck made recovery impossible, he set up his tent nearby and fired up a small stove to stay warm through the night. He passed the time however he could, even smoking a few cigarettes before eventually crawling into the tent to try and sleep.
Woo! Well guys, that's not exactly how I was planning on my day going. My ship. There's nothing you can do but laugh, I guess. Good night, baby. Hopefully the fuel tank isn't full of water. And we can get it out tomorrow. Alright guys, check out the setup. We got the stove going. We've got a peace offering for any wolves that might come this way. They'll go for the canned food first. Right? Now that's just there to hold down the outside of the tent so it doesn't flap around and so air doesn't just waft up into it. And inside, oh, it's nice and warm in here.
By the next morning, he spotted a truck approaching from the distance. Fortunately, the help he had been promised had actually arrived.
Oh yeah, just my campsite here. Not a problem. Did you hear about me from Eagle? Did somebody let you know that I'm stuck out here, or you just yeah, I've like sunk my back tire through the ice over there. So the front end is sticking out, but the back end is like below water.
Is there lots of ice there?
No, so just here, I can show you. This part's like kind of swampy, but it's pretty frozen solid here. All right, so those guys are headed back to Eagle to get the grader. They were pretty stoked on my tent. They said if they get me out, they're keeping my tent. I think they're joking, but.
Okay.
All right.
It's on ice, so it's not gonna hurt nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, put it in here, bud. We're actually fired up right now. Try everything right out.
Yeah, whatever I did with the keys. Get out, guys, we're running. Got some water on the floor. Absolute legends over here. Yanked me out. Holy shit. I thought we might lose her there.
Despite being soaked and frozen from the ordeal, the Forerunner still started, proving its reliability in one of the worst possible scenarios. Well, looking back, I mean, the situation could have been far worse. If this had happened in a truly isolated area, miles away from any major road or passing traffic, yeah, the outcome might have been very different. The driver who kept his word and sent help, deserves some major kudos. The entire experience also highlights an important lesson about wilderness travel. Preparation matters. If this guy would have had a winch on his vehicle, I mean, it could have made a huge difference in this situation. And also, I'm sure we all know this, but it doesn't hurt to rehash it, it's critical to tell someone where you're going before you're heading out, especially on a trip like this. In the end, Connor was very fortunate. Help arrived in time, he stayed warm through the night, and nothing serious happened. But man, even a small mistake in the wilderness can quickly turn into a life-threatening situation. Anyhow, glad Connor is safe.
Kyle Burgess was out on an early morning run along a trail in Provo, Utah, when he noticed what he initially believed was a small bobcat sitting on the path ahead. He thought that was cool. He pulled out his phone and began recording. But in under 30 seconds, it became clear that what he was looking at wasn't a bobcat at all. It was a cougar cub. Almost immediately, the situation escalated when the cub's mother appeared from the brush nearby.
Oh, you! Oh, oh. 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 No! Get the away! Get the away! Go! 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 No! No! Go away! Go away! Please go away! Oh! Holy... Nice and slow. Come on! Ah! No.
Realizing he was now way too close to this young cougar and its protective parent, Kyle slowly began backing down the trail while keeping his eyes on the animal. He tried to make himself look larger and shouted loudly, hoping to intimidate the cougar and convince it to retreat. Instead, the animal followed. At several points, the cougar lunged toward him.
Go away! No, you taste, dude. Trying to attack me, your eyes are looking away from you. Dude! No, go away! Go away! No! No! Yeah, get away from me. Face.
Closing the distance in sudden bursts meant to scare him off. Each time, Kyle continued stepping backward, carefully maintaining eye contact while trying not to stumble on the rocky trail behind him. At one moment, he briefly turns his head away to check his footing so he doesn't trip. That split second of distraction causes the cougar to charge even closer, getting within just a few feet of him. The tense encounter lasts for nearly 6 full minutes. Eventually, Kyle bends down, grabs a large rock from the trail, and throws it toward the cougar. The sudden movement finally startles the animal enough that it retreats back into the brush. Encounters like this are extremely dangerous. Cougars are powerful predators, and once their chase instinct is triggered, the outcome can be far worse. Wildlife experts often advise hikers to remain calm, maintain eye contact, and never run, since running can trigger a pursuit response. Had Kyle panicked and turned his back, the situation could have ended very differently. In May of 2017, a 45-year-old Richard Wesley was out hunting in Ontario, Canada, when he suddenly came face to face with the last animal you want to see in the wilderness, a big old bear. He initially tried to lay low in the bushes and hoped the bear would walk away without noticing him. Unfortunately, he was in a wide open area, resulting in the bear seeing him and coming toward him. One of the only options he really had left at this point was to run away, which, considering a bear's top speed of up to 35 miles per hour or 55 kilometers an hour, that's not really an option. He could stand his ground and try to scare the bear away before it gets too close, Because if the bear actually does decide to attack, I mean, this guy has no way of winning. Adult black bears can weigh up to 600 pounds. So if one of them's on top of you, there's no way to get it off. Richard took a chance and stood up and tried to intimidate the bear. Unfortunately, that backfired horribly.
Quiet! 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 Quiet!
Instead of running away, the bear lunged at Richard and slammed him to the ground. For a moment, he thought this was the end. But as he was falling down, something exceptionally lucky happened. The wooden bow Richard was holding in his hand got shoved into the bear's jaw. This not only kept the bear from shredding his arm, but biting into the wood also disoriented it enough to make it turn and leave him alone. So despite coming dangerously close to losing his life, Richard was able to walk away with only a few minor bruises.
We watched the video footage. My stomach just tightened, and my wife started crying. Instead of admitting that I'm scared, and I probably should have went and talked to a professional about what happened, but I just downplayed it.
That said, the experience also left Richard with a far deeper appreciation for the life he has. I mean, can you imagine a bear attacking you and you really only leave with scratches?
Off the top at 6, new details on the blast that leveled a house and rocked a Northern Virginia neighborhood.
Yeah, we brought you live pictures of this devastating explosion and fire. This as it was all playing out during this very newscast last night.
We've confirmed no people were hurt, but 3 pets were killed. Fox 5's Bob Barner live from the scene in Haymarket with those new details on how this all went down. Bob.
Yeah, hey there, Kenneth and Angie. There are people in this neighborhood wondering if this could not have been prevented. And as you mentioned at this time yesterday, this was a raging inferno behind me. Take a look. The house that blew up is not there. The house you see is the next door neighbor's. What's left of the house that had the gas leak, the explosion and fire, is there on top of these 2 cars in the driveway. The house was actually back to the left there, further into the woods. There are a lot of questions, concerns, and heartache here tonight.
It's sad. It's devastating.
Rob Karras and his wife Mona were home across the cul-de-sac from the house that exploded Tuesday, claiming the lives of 3 pets, 2 cats and a dog. Up close in the daylight, you get a sense of the destructive force of that blast. Rob sharing with us this video and other images of the inferno he recorded.
Facing this way with the house to my back, and I hear this boom, and I just get pushed. My whole back, and last night my whole back hurt, and I was in pain, and then it blew out my garage, and then there was some debris, and a couple windows landed right in the middle of the street, maybe like 30, 50 feet from me. So it was crazy.
Another neighbor pointed out this bowling ball that ended up in front of his home, rocketed out of the house that exploded.
Well, there was one gas person here, and he was wandering around, and after it exploded, everybody was looking for him. We didn't know where he was, and then I found him on the side of my house. I was like, here he is, he's over here, and he was shocked. He was visibly shocked.
Sky Fox was over the scene Tuesday late afternoon. The house on Colby Hunt Court. Prince William County fire officials telling us a contractor replacing a water line to the house struck and ruptured a 2-inch gas line. After neighbors smelled the gas around 4:15 Tuesday afternoon and called 911, 8 nearby homes were evacuated. About an hour later, the explosion.
I mean, I'm in shock, really. I just can't believe that, something like that could happen. I thought that, when you hire plumbers, they're professional, and they should be able to know where the gas line is. Did they call Miss Utility? I don't know.
An employee from UtiliQuest says they were out here and marked the gas line before the work on the water line was started. What ignited the fire is still under investigation. 4 adults and 2 children from 2 different families were living inside the home, including Jared Stuniak.
I'm more or less just trying to stay strong for my daughter and my fiance, so that they can have somebody to lean on, even though I want to fall apart myself.
Washington gas crews back on the scene today, making repairs to its infrastructure, hoping to have service back to the impacted homes in the coming hours. And at this hour, Washington Gas and Prince William County fire investigators are still here. We have reached out to the plumbing company that was doing the water work here, still waiting to hear back from them. And Prince William County fire investigators say, guys, they may never know what exactly ignited the gas that blew up that house.